Hello, boyos. This is the Loner Games Cast, where we discuss that everything is video games. This week we've got a guest because Jake is out of town and he has other things to do and better things to do. So today our guest is none other than MischievousVixen on Twitter, Twitch, and wherever else you can find her. Danielle, how are you doing today?
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm currently pissed off because my audio is not working and I sound like shit. But at least I look good.
Yeah,
so
you look
at least
great.
I got the camera working.
You look great. Yeah. So, with that, we're also gonna move down to what you've been playing. Since you're new to this whole thing, we go through like kind of what you've been playing and you know how you enjoy it and what you think of it. So,
Okay.
I'll pass the floor over to you.
Well, I started streaming recently and I've been streaming Neon Abyss, which has been a lot of fun, roguelike platformer game. And then I was like, well, let's test my computer a little more. And I've been hearing a lot about A Plague Tale, and there's a lot of talk from E3 about it. So I downloaded that to give it a shot. And I really love that game. So that's been what I've been streaming most of. And then this morning I was playing a little bit of Stardew. So I'm going to get back into playing that because I could use some relaxation in my life. And I miss playing that game. It's been like a year since I picked it up.
Nice. So, what is a Plague Tale? You went into Neon Abyss. It's a roguelike platformer. But what is a Plague's Tale? What would you like compare it to if you had to?
I love the gameplay of it. It's very familiar to The Last of Us and God of War. I was really surprised that it's on PlayStation only, or PlayStation on computer PC only. Because I guess it's from a small studio. But it's you're an older sister walking around France with her younger brother, and there's a plague that's going around, and thousands and thousands of millions and hundreds of billions of rats.
Thousands and
Yeah,
thousands and millions and hundreds of billions of rats. I like that.
yeah.
That's really good.
It's really cute. There's not a lot of like puzzle stuff, but it's a really pretty game. The gameplay's smooth, and then the storyline's pretty interesting. Um, I was afraid it was going to be like a really scary game, but it's just a thriller that's, I guess, like an action thriller. And so
Okay.
if you enjoyed God of War or The Last of Us, I would definitely pick it up because it's got that relationship, like father, daughter, brother, sister, older, younger person kind of a thing, and just exploring the world.
Cute.
It's cute.
Cute. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, a Plague Tale is a very cute game. You heard it here first, everybody. Um,
Cute. If you like a bunch of infested rats that will eat you alive in seconds. Cute.
it's
Hmm.
super cute. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have been playing more of. Well, I haven't. I just got this from a friend. I've been playing Call of Duty. What is it? Black Ops Cold War. It's alright. It's a Call of Duty game. It's a Black Ops game. It's the same bullshit. They even have the same maps from the older games in there. So it it's I don't like it as much as Modern Warfare or yeah, I don't like it as much as Modern Warfare, but it fills the gap between, what is out and what's coming out and what I'm excited for. It's just a freaking shooter game that fills time. Um, I've also picked up Monster Hunter Stories 2. It's on the Switch if you're interested in it. It's kind of like Pokemon, but in the Monster Hunter universe. There's a demo out now, so it's free, right? And it's very much Pokemon. You like go out and you fight. It's turn-based battles. It looks really cute. It's very chibi-esque, and Yeah, you just fight monsters with other monsters. You can ride around on them, and it seems to be a pretty cool story. I'm not that deep in the demo, maybe 30 minutes probably. It's really cute. Um, Hopefully, I'll be able to pick it up when it comes out, and hopefully, it gets good reviews. Um, yeah, that's what I've been playing. That's what Danielle's been playing. Um, I guess moving on to the next part of the show, a segment that we lovingly call the titties here at the LonerCast. It's that little tidbits of information, just gaming information. It may turn into full stories, but for now, it's just kind of like little nuggets, little tidbits of news.
The little titties.
The little titties, but they can grow. They can grow into bigger titties if we want to dive deeper into them. The first one, Destiny 2 players are buying an emblem that isn't quite out yet. And I said I'll go dive deeper into this. So apparently, there are some people online who are, I forget what you call them. They're data miners. They find data within the code of the game, and they're like, hey, look what I found, everybody. Well, they found an emblem that I guess it looks cool. I don't know what the emblem looks like, but it's not technically in the game yet. And what these people are doing is they're selling it to people who play the game for, I don't know, $5 or whatever to get this emblem, just so they can say, hey, I have an emblem that's not out yet, I guess. And so Bungie's like, hey, don't buy this emblem. It kind of sucks that we have to say this, but we were going to give it out for free. So Bungie's like out here trying to stop. They're like pleading with these guys to stop purchasing an emblem that they're going to get for free anyway. So if you're one of these people who's like, hey, I need an emblem, I play Destiny 2, I'm going to buy it. Don't buy it, because they've already said that they're releasing it for free for everybody on Destiny Day, or whatever that is, which is the 7th of July, I believe. Cool. Next one. EA confirms Battlefield 2042 will use bots to fill the 128 player servers. So Battlefield has come out and said, we're going to have these huge, massive 128 player servers so that it feels like a real Battlefield, I guess. But it sounds like they're not preparing for a whole lot of people to jump into servers, or maybe the servers can't handle a full playable 128 players, so they're putting bots into them.
Because not enough people are playing online.
Well, I don't know what it is. They say that because the game's not out yet. 2042 is not out yet. Comes out in like November or October. So
that's like the Stranger Things like looking kind of game, right?
Battlefield?
No. Oh no, this is the cool looking one. It doesn't help. I don't have any visuals in front of me, and I'm like, wait, which one is which shoot 'em up game is this? No, the 2042. Okay.
Battlefield is
well,
like.
I guess that's interesting. So I guess your teammate could be a total bot.
Yeah, your teammate could be a total bot. So what they usually do with this is they don't usually do this until a game kind of dies, where it's like nobody's really on anymore, so we're gonna fill the servers with bots so that it looks like our game's alive. It's very odd to hear that they're putting bots into servers day one. It's just kind of strange.
Might break the game too.
All the bots.
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe not if they're using bots to test with it, and then
They could
and then
be.
they slowly let people in, because a lot of day one issues is like overload, too many people coming in at once. So maybe it's just a feature they're using to start it out with, they'll get rid of, and then once the platform starts to die, maybe that's a way they can keep the online game alive.
That's a very good point. They could, instead of letting everybody on at once, it could be like here's a server, it's full of bots, and then people slowly replace the bots as the game goes on or something like that. It's a good point. We will find out soon enough. Next one, River, the Fallout 4's dog meat. The dog named River, who played dog meat in Fallout 4, has died, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pupper. Puppers don't last as long as humans do.
But yep.
Okay.
Nick and I were talking about this news earlier, and I couldn't help but to keep it to myself. But I was like, sad news today. The dog that plays dog meat is dead. Good news, if you hate dogs, you can just play The Last of Us 2 and kill dogs.
Kill as many dogs as you'd like. Exactly.
Yeah, so depends how you look at it. I don't know. Next titty.
Next titty. The last titty on the docket. The boys.
One that I found.
Yes.
Yeah. My titty. This is my titty. Let me steal this.
Wait, this. You find. You take it away. Take it away.
All right.
You say this one.
So, the show, The Boys on Amazon, posted on Twitter. But what would The Boys video game look like? Which is hinting that there will be possibly in the makes The Boys. That's like weird to say. The Boys video game. So that could be horizon. Maybe we'll hear some news about that soon. They are working on a season 3 of that game, and also a spin-off series as well about Stoops University kind of a thing. So there's definitely cooking up a bunch of content with that. And that'd be interesting to see as a game, because it definitely wouldn't be like family friendly.
Yeah, it would. What do you think the game would be? What if you were to play The Boys game? What kind of game do you think it would be?
That's hard to say, because it's not like a normal superhero game where they're usually pulling from different stories that have already been written. And I don't think it's going to be like how like back when we were kids, the way they made video games off of like a TV show or a movie, it was just playing the story that the movie already told. So I don't think it's going to be either of those. It might be like totally different new content. It'd be cool if they did it in like Grand Theft Auto 5 style, where you have to like switch between, which character you're playing as. Like, oh, I'm Franklin and now I'm not Franklin, one of the other guys. I think that would be cool, because they could really take that in a lot of different directions.
Yeah. I think a boys, I like the idea of like a GTA open world sort of, kind of fuck the city up, however you want to, kind of video game would be awesome, because then you're playing as Homelander, or you switch, or maybe you even create your own character and they all have their own abilities. I don't know, that would be kind of cool too.
It'd be real interesting if they took it from a completely different perspective. If you're not familiar with the show, it's about superheroes that are basically bred by the government and then marketed like celebrities. So if they took it from the perspective as you're playing as someone from VOT and you're creating superheroes, or like training them, or doing like missions, and kind of like with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're not really seeing it from the superheroes' perspective, but another angle.
Right.
That could be an interesting take too.
What's
nice about what?
No, go for it. That's what's nice about.
I think that's what's nice about when they take a show or a movie and then turn it into a video game, because you can just dive in different ways that the show can't tell.
Right.
Tell the story.
Yeah, you made this point when we were talking earlier about how it's most of the. I mean, I know it kind of gives away the end of the show, but most of the TV shows that are out right now kind of draw from a specific source. And you were telling me that like video games is probably a better source than TV shows. If you say you like writing a book or something, and it'd be a better source to put that into a video game, and where you can really dive into characters and stuff rather than a TV show that's 16 hours, whereas a video game can be upwards of 30 hours.
30, 60, 120. Depends how good they make it, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Because when I look at The Witcher and how much I love The Witcher, and that's like the perfect example of pulling from the source material, turning it into a whole world of fantasy. You can dive in and explore into it as much as you want. Where sometimes, even though a TV show, it's like, cool, you get an hour episode here and it's longer than a movie, you still can't quite dive into it the same way as you can with a video game. And, I hate to bring it up because I'm so heartbroken, but with Game of Thrones, I like to think, what would have it been like if they did that great storytelling, the first few seasons, in a video game instead of doing it through a TV series? Because it always seems like a TV series is a good way to do like a spin-off or add to it or look at things from a different angle. But man, if you could just like roam around Westeros and discover the story through that experience, and which can still be, you can still do an open world game and have it very cinematic as well.
Right,
I think
yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be really cool to be like, I don't know, one of the guys that goes, I don't remember the show a whole lot, but one of the guys that goes up into like into the snow area up north past the wall,
Yeah.
it'd be kind of cool to like see that and then try to like survive the White Walkers or whatever dangers are up there and try to get back down to the just kind of dive deeper into what those people do.
Different lands, like how in The Witcher you have Skellige and not Skellige, all the other places, and you can really dive into different parts of the land.
Well, yeah, there's Skellige, you start in White Orchard, you got, oh my goodness, the Northern Realms. I forget what this is called already. I really need them to release that on PlayStation 5. I'm starting to forget what the areas are called. Yeah, anyway, we'll probably dive... Moving on. We had an event just last week. Microsoft came out and they were like, hey, we have a new Windows OS, or operating system, yeah, new Windows operating system. It's called Windows 11, even though they told us they weren't going to release another Windows. Like Windows 10 was the last Windows, and they were just going to update it until it, until they couldn't update it anymore. But they released like a 45-minute conference about showing off Windows 11 and all the different things that it does and how it looks different and how it feels different. I don't know if you watched this, but I watched it and it wasn't really I feel like it wasn't really necessary to have this conference because it looks pretty similar. Like the changes that are in this, yeah, sure, they updated like the windows are now rounded edges, and they like made that a big point in this conference. And instead of having your start button on the left, your start button and all of the little like programs you put in your toolbar are right in the center. That you can now like split your screen into different sections for like task management and stuff like that. The biggest thing for me though in this, I don't know if you saw it, but when you have a second screen attached to your computer and you like unplug it, say you had a laptop attached to a second screen, you unplug it from that screen, it'll move all of your tiles to your laptop, and then when you plug it back in, it'll move them back perfectly, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. We weren't really expecting a Windows 11, but once I was like, Windows 11, okay, let's watch this video, see what it's about. And it's really cool, though, all the different changes that they're making. They're really pushing for the change of, not really a change, but adapting more to tablets and phones and computers all being in one and working seamlessly together. And I think a lot of that push is coming from what Apple's been doing with their iPads and their computers. and just how great they work together. But what Windows is doing that, in my opinion, Apple's not doing, is they're doing a lot of updates with how the apps also run on the program. They're now introducing all Android apps to work on desktop, which is awesome because I don't know. I used to own an Apple like, I don't know, 5 years ago. And I watch all the Apple conferences, and I haven't seen them really do anything with updating their widgets. Like when you have your iMac, it just looks so dated with the way the apps and the widgets work. So there was nothing when I was an Apple owner for a reason of wanting me to integrate more products. Whereas with Windows, they're making it really easy to all of a sudden, boom, take your laptop to go, take your tablet, pop it on here, and it will save how you customize your screen instead of just having what Nick was saying, one rectangle here and one rectangle here. You can now have it like one rectangle, three things over here, and it's going to remember how you have that set up onto your other device, which is really nice, especially if you're like in an office setting and you're going to a meeting real quick and you just like connect your laptop.
Well,
They're making that cross connectivity really useful.
well, yeah. Could you imagine if you like work as like a creative in a creative position and you have to give like presentations? So you just load your presentation into your iPad, or well, it wouldn't be your iPad. It would be whatever your Windows
Your
tablet,
Android
right?
tablet.
Yeah, your Windows tablet. You plug it in, you like load it all up, and then you go into the to the conference room and just plug it into your into the screen or your projector or something, and it all just pops up exactly how you wanted it to. You don't have to move around anything and go, oh, excuse me, I have to, set everything up again for this new aspect ratio. Um, yeah, it could really be good for that kind of thing. And I'm kind of excited. It looks really clean. I'm glad they're doing like the rounded edges. It just looks cleaner. I hope they don't take away any options. That's like the biggest thing as I was watching this conference. I'm like, oh, but what did you take away that's customizable? Like, what is proprietary now? What can't I change in this, Um, yeah. Anything else on that, you think?
Most that I saw, um, they're still integrating a lot of the touch stuff, but that's probably because of how much the operating system's now going to be on multiple devices. So that's good. It's cool seeing just, you know, we had Windows 10 for so long, and now it's moving. And it doesn't look like, when Windows 10 first came out, we had all the tiles. Like I hated that. And then they made the option to give you your toolbar and start menu back. So it's not like it's not that dramatic of a change this time around.
Right.
But it looks a lot more useful.
It looks like they're just scooting some things over, making things just look better. Um, I, I just remembered that they said that you could use your apps that you use on your phone. You could use uh, on your computer, and that's really cool because like if you have a game on your phone, you just switch it over to your computer, and you're like, I'm gonna continue playing this game, even though, I think that's really cool. So,
So much easier to just scroll on TikTok while you're at work.
well, yeah, that, but also like I was thinking about implications because, our friend group is very split between PC and PlayStation 4. You can't get the PlayStation app on your computer. It just doesn't work with Windows right now. But
That's a good point.
if they if it makes it able if Windows 11 is able to put the PlayStation app on there, then we could talk through the PlayStation app through everybody. Maybe even the Nintendo chat system, because that you have to open up on your phone too, right?
Curious to how they're going to do that, because then if there's not an Apple equivalent, what are those app developers, they're like, well, now half our Apple users, they can't use this on their desktops. So I wonder with the next Apple conference if they're going to try to, um, what's the word?
Try to one up them. Try to like
Uh,
step up.
recognize that.
Yeah, try to step up their game a little bit and say we can do that too, you guys. Yeah, they really should.
And
Um,
that's one thing I mean, I'm an iPhone user, but what I always loved about Androids was their widgets. And even after Apple recently last year introduced their widgets, it's like, okay, these are all third party and crap. Uh, what are you trying to
right. Yeah.
like stop putting things out unless it's fully polished and stop being 10 years behind on it when you do it.
Well, yeah, that Apple I feel like is just kind of coasting on their previous success of like Steve Jobs running the company, and now Tim Cook is just kind of like coasting. I feel like he's not taking any like steps or leaps where he's like, this will blow your mind. It's like, yeah, we upgraded this, we upgraded that. Everything's pretty much the same though, you know?
And that for a while, but they have been, bumping things up quite a lot lately, like in the past 2, 3 years. Um, but anyways, enough
And
about Apple. We're here to talk about video games.
that's right. That's right. And we have some video game news for everybody. Um, this first piece of news, we're into the news now. Um, Toys for Bob is not dead, apparently.
Toys for Bob is not dead. I know everyone was kind of concerned when, was it, who bought them out?
The
Activision?
Activision, the
Activision
studio.
bought them out
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you,
or took over. And they said that they're going to take everything from Crash and Spyro and have everyone start working on Call of Duty Warzone. And so it's like, okay, so are we not ever going to get a Spyro Enter the Dragonfly? We still don't know. But according to BuzzFeed, they reported that Apple TV Plus has greenlit 2 seasons of The Adventures of Crash Bandicoot, which should have Crash and Spyro in it. So I don't know if they're going to halt on the video games completely or what, but there will be a kids' TV show that's supposed to be released, expected September later this year. But it could be interesting though, because 2 of the producers on the show are previous workers on Cat Dog and Invader Zim. So I'm kind of curious on how that project will turn out.
well, if they're kid shows, I probably won't watch them. But it's really cool that they're moving what our our nostalgia is to like younger generations. You have like Mario,
Uh,
and it's like, hey kids, look, it's Mario. This is way past, way before your time, but you still enjoy Mario. It's like, do you know who Spyro and Crash Bandicoot are? No? Well, you're going to. Like
gonna
it's
find out.
it's kind of cool. It links up. It connects. Like the millennial and the next one. What
What
is it? Is
what they
Gen
do with
Z, Gen X? I don't know what the next one is.
the Gen Z,
The
they're the
Gen
younger
Zers,
ones.
yeah. So it's kind of cool that they're doing that. Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna the they originally said Activision owns Toys for Bob, and they disbanded Toys for Bob and like absorbed them into the Call of Duty Warzone because Call of Duty Warzone was doing so good, um, that they just needed more people over there. So I don't know if they are going to have like a new studio or just have a couple of people from Toys for Bob working on the TV show and just being like, yeah, this is how we would do it. This is what it is. But I doubt that we're going to get another Spyro or a Crash game anytime soon.
Yeah,
But
not anytime soon.
but if this Apple TV Plus show does really well, then we might, you know?
Yeah, because I noticed that was a thing around Christmas time 2019. I was talking to coworkers, all my coworkers way older than me, and I was telling them about the remastered Spyro trilogy, and I was asking them about their kids because they're like, I don't want to get Susie. And I'm like, well, have you heard of this game? They might love it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, no, I haven't. So I think this is a good way for them to introduce it to those children who haven't seen it yet. Because right now it's really only millennials who know what, and like younger Gen Xers who really played the Spyro games and Crash Bandicoot. So this way, adults will then see their kids watching these shows and then see the game pops out later, and it might come full circle.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's only good news, honestly. unless this show never comes out and it just gets canned. But for now, it's good news, and we will see what the future holds for that. I mean, this next one is just kind of a comment. You want to do this one?
Yeah, maybe should have been a little titty, but so Mass Effect's director Mark Waters made a comment about video games make better TV adaptations than movies, which we were kind of touching on earlier. Just like, duh, a movie you only get like what, an hour and a half to 2.5 hours to tell a story or an adventure, whereas you can take as much time as you want with a TV show, which is really nice, and you can explore the world so much more. And he was commenting on that because people were asking about the Mass Effect movie that was announced in like 2010 and what happened to that. And I think he was pretty much trying to sum up, yeah, it just crumbled apart, because what's the point of taking a great video game and trying to scrunch it into something small, unless it's Uncharted, you have Tom Holland. But
well, I mean, that's still you. So you have a TV show. I was gonna bring up The Last of Us. You have a TV show that like deals with all of these characters and all of these things from a video game, where all of these characters have character. For one, they have like well thought out character. The dialogue is expansive. The scenes all fit together a very specific way, and I feel like if you pick and choose some of those things and redo The Last of Us, for like the way that they've been saying is like, we're just going to retell the story of The Last of Us 1, and I'm like, that is a terrible idea, because
yeah,
that game is pretty long and it goes through a lot of like points, and if you don't nail those points, then all the timing is gonna be off. It's gonna feel like you're missing something. The pacing is just gonna be very off. And then you just imagine that with like a movie, right? A 2-hour movie, and just forget about your 8-hour show, your 8-episode, 8-hour show. You slam that even down closer to 2.5 hours, then you're really cutting off a bunch of necessary like emotions, character developments, relationships. You're gonna smother that into a 2-hour thing, and it's gonna be really really hard to get the point across and make it seem the same way that it would seem in a video game. Like I don't think you could take The Witcher. Somebody wanted us to talk about The Witcher again in chat.
Well, I'm down for that.
So I don't think you can take The Witcher, which it took me on my third try, so I knew what I was doing mostly. And on my third playthrough, it took me 125 hours to beat the whole thing. I don't think you can. The third time. So like, yeah, I played through it. I played through half of it once. I didn't really like it. I picked it up, loved it, played through it all the way through, and then I bought the DLC, and then I started it over and played all the way through again. So I knew how to play the first like 2 or 3 acts, right? So I was kind of speeding through those. I knew the points that I had to go to and hit, but I don't think you can take 125 hours in a video game and squish it down to 2 hours of a movie, unless you are only focusing on like one quest, one, like if you're gonna focus on the Red Baron and his family, and like how his daughter and wife like run away. Unless you're focusing just on that story, or, Vesemir's story, you're just focusing on that, then I think you could get away with it. But
it's interesting with what they are doing with the Witcher Netflix series, because they're just telling the short stories through each episode.
Right, which is great. And those short stories weren't told throughout The Witcher 3.
Right.
They're before, they're prequels. So if you haven't like played or read the books or played the older games, you wouldn't know these stories. Like Geralt's called the Butcher of Blaviken. We don't see that in the game in The Witcher 3, but we see it in the very first episode of The Witcher on Netflix, which is kind of cool. I wish they kind of got more into it, and I wish the TV show was a little bit stretched out a little bit longer. But I understand that there's like money involved, and you can't just be like, we're gonna focus entirely on the Butcher of Blaviken story and just like stretch that out through 8 episodes. So they did it in 1 episode, which is cool, but then they focused on like other stories, and it's really cool because that's kind of how The Witcher is written. It's all short stories about Geralt of Rivia and his adventures, I guess. And it works out really well for that. I think it's very like comic books. It's very it reminds me as if like I'm reading the book, and it's like watching the book almost. Yeah, so it's cool, and I agree with Mac Waters rather, that video games make better TV adaptations than movies, because you can only get so much information from a movie.
It's so difficult to go backwards because even with Uncharted, it's like, take Uncharted 2, for example. If they were turning that into a game,
into a game?
Or into a movie, there's so much that they have to take out to retell that story. So when I think of, the Tom Holland version that's coming out, I feel like, what is it, in Uncharted 4, when you're playing a bit as young Drake?
Right. Uncharted 3.
That is Uncharted 3?
Yeah.
There were parts in Uncharted 4, too.
There may have been.
Anyways, like taking that section of the game and blowing that up into a movie is a great idea, because there's so many times in video games where we play a moment and we're like, wow, that was so pretty, that was such a good story, I want more of that. I'm all for it to like big budget turn that into a movie.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was telling. Like, if I could get the side mission in The Witcher where he's helping the lady with her frying pan.
You want a movie and
I want an
that.
entire movie where Geralt is just running into a burning building to save a frying pan. That's all I want. No, but that it's that kind of, you focus in on one little particular story, and then you can make a movie about that. Or even with The Last of Us, how they're coming out with that, you could focus on like the seasons, right? So with The Last of Us series, you just focus, the season could be winter, and then you focus on winter, and then the next season could be spring, because the next season is spring. So you go
the season of the season.
The seasons for each there's a season for each season. That's cute. I like that.
That would be really cool, because it would be so cool to see, like, if there was a holiday special episode, what would it be like at the camps, during like Christmas time? What are the type of gift giving that they do?
Wow, you're thinking of this kind of like a community sort of thing, like, oh yeah, we have to have like
a
paintball sort of situation, and like, a Thanksgiving where everybody gets around and cuts the turkey, but shenanigans arise because
like how that would be different, because when you look at The Last of Us 2, where Abby's camp is and how different that is, because they're like in a giant stadium, versus Ellie's camp where they almost have like their own like little homestead. They got the buildings, the shops, and everything.
Right, yeah.
It'd be cool to dive into the slice of life aspect of that, what the everyday life is like.
It would be cool. And I want like more, I want different stories. I want them to get away from Ellie and Abby, and I want them to focus on like I don't know, what does London look like during this? Even if that was like a movie, like Australia's got to be going through some different stuff, like the same
Oh my
stuff, but
God, the
like,
giant spiders take over.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
like giant webs everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So like I feel like a show that's based on that same story but not telling the same story, maybe in a different location, would be much cooler and much easier to do than retelling something that they've already told and doing it well, you know. That's kind of my wish for it. Um, but we should move on to the next one.
Okay.
This one's kind of long. Assassin's Creed Valhalla director leaves Ubisoft for EA Motive. Um, this comes from Derek Nichols at Game Rant. He says the development cycle for Assassin's Creed Valhalla wasn't a normal one for many reasons. The development saw a few high-profile members of the team depart both on their own accord and those who were forced out, with the most high-profile being former creative director Ashraf Ismail, who was fired after reported sexual misconduct charges appeared online. On a completely different note, narrative director Darby McDevitt announced he was leaving Ubisoft after a decade to join with Illogica, I think that's how you say it, Illogica, months after the launch and success of the game. Changes are again afoot for the particular series as Assassin's Creed Valhalla game director Eric Baptizat has left Ubisoft to join Electronic Arts. Baptizat has been at Ubisoft for 16 years, having a helping hand in some of the most popular Assassin's Creed games in the franchise, including Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. In addition, Baptizat held a senior role with Assassin's Creed Origin, a soft reboot of the series which added in RPG mechanics found in recent titles. Interestingly enough, neither Baptizat or EA has commented publicly on the move, which was apparently completed as far back as April. Baptizat now joins EA Motive, a studio that has been in the press for a few weeks now, thanks to a rumored unannounced project it is working on. If the rumors prove true, Baptizat's experience with third-person action games should be incredibly valuable. With EA Play 2021 taking place next month, rumors have begun swirling that the Star Wars Squadron studio has inherited an established and fan-favorite IP. While EA isn't saying what it is, fans have been convinced that the revival project is for Dead Space, a popular sci-fi horror series that the former studio Visceral created, though hasn't been seen in a number of years. Reports indicate that the Dead Space revival is more of a reimagining rather than a direct sequel. Either way, fans are hoping to get a glimpse at the new EA Motive project next month at EA Play. So yeah, pretty much the director of Valhalla leaves and he goes and joins EA Studio, who is apparently remaking an old title reimagined from EA. Did you ever play Dead Space?
I had minutes of it, and then I got too scared.
Then you got too scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love those games. Those games were so good. But, they're under EA, and it's kind of shitty. So I don't know if we'll ever get it, but EA Play should be pretty hype if they do deliver what everybody's wanting to deliver. What do you think? I know you used to be an Assassin's Creed fan more recently than I was, and you've played.
Confused. So this guy was like responsible for the soft reboot of Origins, but was also a part of Black Flag.
He was in Black. He dates all the way back to Black Flag, but he also worked on. He was a senior. He had a senior role in Origins, which was the soft reboot where they changed everything around. So I don't know if he was directly involved in going, yeah, we should change the combat completely and the way this game plays completely. And
Ridiculous, because they had a soft reboot. Uh, well, my brain's forgetting. Um, Before Origins also, and after Black Flag. So
did
they
they?
did with yeah, with Unity. And then they changed the controls with
Oh, you're
well,
right.
Unity was similar to Black Flag, and then they changed the controls with Syndicate, and Syndicate was pretty solid. And then they're like, let's do it again, and then they changed it all up with Origins. So I when I was a big Assassin's Creed fan,
Assassin's
um,
Creed. Yeah.
I was really excited for Origins. I really liked what they did with it. And then, as you know, but the viewers might not know, then I played The Witcher,
back
and it
back to The
ruined
Witcher. It all
every
comes
single thing.
it all comes
I,
back to The Witcher, doesn't it?
and I feel like the gameplay style that changed with Origins more so than what they changed with Syndicate wasn't just like the controls, it was the whole gameplay. How much more open world it is, and how you move around the map and everything. uh, they greatly expanded on that, but I felt like it was all very shallow and not well done.
Uh,
But at the time, before I played The Witcher, I thought Origins was great, and then I played The Witcher, and I was like, this is how it should have been done. But I haven't played anything newer than Origins, so I don't know if it got better or what. I just haven't felt like putting money out to test it out and be disappointed again.
yeah, yeah. I get you because I think the last one that I played and really enjoyed was Black Flag. Like I played Syndicate. Syndicate was pretty good, but as soon as like Unity came out, it kind of like soured my taste for the whole Assassin's Creed thing because it was just so broken.
Many people didn't like Unity. Even on Reddit, a lot of people who now go back and play Unities now that it's fixed. I I don't know because I haven't played it, but some people are saying that they think that's like their favorite one. I might just be recalling one comment that I read. But it could have been like a Witcher 3 thing, even like the game coming out broken as hell, and then the people who found it years later, like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Um, but not to that degree. But a lot of people definitely hated Unity. But yeah, Unity, Syndicate, everything before, that's all like a different style. Everything changed with Origins. And I've only heard good things from people who have played Odyssey. G Nerd just hopped in the comment chat and said, he didn't like Unity, but he really did enjoy Origins and Odyssey.
Hmm. Okay. And I know you played Origins, didn't you?
Yeah, I played through all of Origins.
Okay. And you just didn't. It wasn't getting to you.
No, I liked it. And then you were like, if you like this, you'd like The Witcher. And then you ruined my life.
I ruined it. I ruined video games for you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. I mean
Like, I
that's
can't even.
that's the only game we should ever play now is The Witcher because I don't know if there is a better game. Um, we'll move on. We'll move on. This was huge. This is probably our biggest piece of news. Marvel's Avengers players complain after IP addresses are publicly revealed. This comes from
Yikes.
Kat Bailey at IGN. Following an update that went live earlier today to 6/22/2021, Marvel's Avengers players are reporting that their IP addresses are being displayed on screen without their consent. Reports of the bug began circulating this morning with players posting screen caps of their IP addresses available for all to see. One player referred to the bug as legitimately shut the game off bad. Marvel Avengers developers are currently testing a solution with a hotfix expected to go live at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Crystal Dynamics advised PS5 players to continue avoid streaming or posting screenshots online until then. We are currently testing a solution to issue of let me start that quote over. We are currently testing a solution to the issue of personal information, including the player's IP address and username, being displayed on screen on PS5, and plan to deploy a hotfix tomorrow around 8 a.m. via Twitter. So that's scary.
Too bad.
Yeah. I don't know how that patch went live or who like okayed that.
And how come it's not a fix that they can't just boop boop on?
I know, right? Like, how is it taking them a week. Is it a week? Because it went earlier today. I don't know what that was. What was 6/22? Was that a Monday? I feel like it was Tuesday. So it took them a day to get their shit together and set this out. It's kind of crazy. Just like your IP address is like super confidential, right? Like if somebody gets a hold of that, they can kind of fuck with your system a little bit.
Yeah, when it comes to, it's like kind of like putting your email address out in the
Right.
open. Not something you really want to do.
Right, exactly. And it's kind of spooky when somebody actually does get your IP address and, sends you a message through your home network, and you're like, oh shit, what is it? Why is my printer going crazy? But it's kind of shitty. I don't know what they're gonna how I don't think this game is going to last very long, especially with all the bullshit that they keep trying to put out. And it's kind of sad that Square Enix is the ones publishing it. Like, I feel like Square is kind of falling into more of like the Activision, the EAs, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, we publish shit now, and we can't get away from that.
My chat, G Nerd, says that he did try Marvel's Avengers and that it was just a real big letdown for him.
Yeah. I almost bought it, but like looking
is it out?
Yeah, it's been out for like a year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. I hear there's no end game, and the gameplay looks really blocky and choppy and not very fluid. No.
That's bad. So this game's been out, and then there was some update, and then everyone's IP addresses are showing.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Somebody okayed it, and they shouldn't have. And then that's it for the news. Next, we have a segment that is just like what to look forward to next week. Things that are on our radar that you should be looking forward to, or we think you should be looking forward to. And I have two of them. If you have something else, you can add it. But one of them is next month's PlayStation Plus games are getting revealed on Thursday, usually. PlayStation
They're
is
not revealed already, or is it just rumors right now?
No, they're not revealed yet. The next PlayStation Plus games, like the free games that you get every month,
yeah,
they usually announce. They announce the games on Thursday, the last Thursday in the month, and then the first Tuesday of the next month is when they release it. So
looking at predictions, this is a misleading title.
Yeah, so the next month's free games should be revealed on Thursday this week. And then also Risk of Rain 2 is getting an update on Tuesday when this goes live. Super exciting. I have been waiting for this update. It adds like a new character, it adds new items, it adds a new boss, and I think it adds a new biome as well. So yeah, Risk of Rain is a roguelite multiplayer adventure. It's very shooty. And then do you have anything that you're looking forward to next week?
Well, I've been seeing that predictions are for a Plague Tale, so I'm excited for
PlayStation
players to get a chance to play that game.
Yeah.
Because normally I would be that person who would see that pop up, and if I didn't know anything about it, I'd miss it. So I think it's great. I think it should be a PlayStation game, and the way the story is. And now I'm overhyping it. I just really enjoyed it.
Good.
Pretty game.
Good. And
Yeah.
you're gonna be streaming.
I will be
on
streaming
Thursday as well.
Thursday.
So
yeah, 3 to 6 AZ time.
that's at twitch.tv/MischievousVixen. We'll put a link in the YouTubes and whatever. You probably get more traffic than we do, so not no
You guys
worries.
got more followers than me.
Well, that's true. And then we got a next segment, which is recent reviews via OpenCritic. This is just kind of like reviews from the week that have more than 30 critic reviews, and they're games that came out recently, and I just tell you what the reviews are, what the scores are. Scarlet Nexus, if you're looking forward to it, has 80 out of 86 critic reviews, so that's pretty good. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance has a 58 out of 51 critic reviews, which is pretty shit. I hear that game is very broken, and you shouldn't get it. Legend of Mana has 73 out of 38 critic reviews. And Mario Golf Super Rush has 75 out of 44 critic reviews. That game also, I hear, just isn't worth the $60. Like, I hear you get like 6 courses or something like that, and it just doesn't have a whole lot of content. The best game mode is the rush mode, and it just kind of dies early, is what I hear. But that's it for the show. If you want more of this, you can follow our other Lonercast shows. We got the Jake and Corey podcast every Monday. One should be going out like today, but Jake's not here, so there's another host. We got Jake and Corey podcast. We also do a Loki spoiler cast every Wednesday live right after we watch the show, so around 8:30, I'd say.
You're saying we, but by we you mean you and Jake.
Me and Jake, that's right. Me and Jake. You're not here right now. So yeah, we got that, and we're working on other things too. I don't remember them off the top of my head. Danielle's got her own streaming thing every Thursday, like she said, from 3 to 6. She's streaming something, whether it be Neon Abyss or what Plague Tale, or I don't know, something new. Anything. She's open to suggestions.
I take recommendations.
Recommendations. She
Yeah,
takes
I got
recommendations. She's got Game Pass, so anything that's on Game Pass she can download and play on stream. Follow us on Twitter. Jake, who isn't here, is at emergencypizza_. I am at fatal_microwave. And Danielle, if you would like to give away your Twitter, you can.
It's real cringe, and it's also private, but, feel free to follow me, and maybe I'll approve you. It's at MischievousVixen. I might have to change that if I want it private.
Yeah, okay. And then just watch us here on twitch.tv/lonercast every Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, it's Monday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and whenever we go live. Jake's always live. It's mostly his show, so I just take over when he's not here. Thanks for watching again. And
don't forget the question of the week.
Holy crap, thank you so much.
I'm like, you're just going and going and
I'm just going. All right. What is the question of the week? This
week's question. Drum roll?
Drum roll. I'm not going to do a drum roll. I have a very precarious setup right here.
Yeah, that's right. His desk right now is a piano. All right, this week's question: should more video games be based on established novels? What do you think? Let us know. This will be posted on YouTube eventually, and you can
tomorrow.
Put your comment there, or just tag us in a tweet and let us know.
There you go. That's a good way to do it too. Tag us in a tweet, and we will get back to you next week. Thanks for watching the show. Thank you, Danielle, for being here, and I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Have a great night.
If you haven't already, if you're watching on my stream, give Lonercast a follow.
Hey, appreciate it. All right. See you guys later.